week on ESPN as we continue Jim Valvano's fight against cancer.
Welcome to Talking Stick Resort in Phoenix, home of the Suns, and about 100 miles from Tucson, where the Wildcats travel today for a big one. As we welcome you to the Valley of the Sun Showcase on ESPN, Arizona, which was number 2 preseason, but has dropped 3 games and fallen out of the rankings, taking on number 7 Texas A&M, which enters this game with a record of 7-0. With Hall of Famer Bill Walton, I'm Dave Pash, and Bill, you have a lot of things you're passionate about, from trees to the dead to alternative medicine. But one thing that gets you really fired up is bigs, and we've got some really good bigs in this game tonight.
The future. Talking Stick, the Valley of the Sun. Is that you, Dave? Where have you been? But to see this incredible showcase here tonight in the Valley of the Sun between two guys who will define the future of basketball. On the left, Robert Williams, a sophomore, came back after a very promising year a year ago in College Station. You got a fantastic coach in Billy Kennedy. Forget about the numbers. This guy is the future. And then on the right, DeAndre Ayton, just a freshman, Bahamas, San Diego, Phoenix, and now he's right here in this incredible arena. I have not seen a basketball player like this since Shaquille O'Neal 27 years ago. Oh my gosh. He throws it down, he shoots threes, he runs, he has everything, size, strength, power. And my only wish is that I could also referee this game tonight, because it would be just a shame if these guys are taken out by someone with a quick whistle.
Well, let's give him a chance. Carl Hess.
Okay, I'm always ready for a chance, okay?
Peter Uzanis are officials. They're SEC officials. And A&M will start with the ball. Texas A&M already with a win at USC by 16 points.
Well, A&M has played a tremendous schedule. They're undefeated. They do basically whatever they want. They've got power. It's a veteran team, incredibly versatile. Tyler Davis, strong inside. He's the emotional leader of this squad.
I mean, you got Robert Williams and you have DeAndre Ayton, but Davis is the forgotten guy sometimes on A&M. He's 6'10", preseason second-team All-SEC. Good rebounder. Here's a turnover by Arizona. Wilson in transition. 4-0 quickly A&M.
Fabulous start for the Aggies here. Poise, confidence, competitive greatness. Billy Kennedy, one of those quiet leaders, not like Archie Manning and these and Bobby Robbins, the new president of University of Arizona, the calm, quiet Southern gentleman.
Here's Ayton at 7-1. And you see the range from DeAndre Ayton with the first basket for U of A.
This guy has it all, and as we celebrate, A&M is playing perfect, but as we celebrate Walt Disney's birthday today, I can see DeAndre Ayton as the next iconic character in our world of entertainment.
Entertainment or basketball? We got a foul here.
Is there a difference?
On Gilder. I want to go, but you said this in the open, Bill. You haven't seen a player like him since Shaq, really? So better than Joel Embiid?
Yes.
Really? Why is that?
He's much more fluid. He's much more skilled. You know, Joel Embiid in college was a shot blocker. I mean, that's what he did. He stood in that back line for Kansas.
What about now, though? Here's Ristich in the lane, and Ristich gets it to go.
Look, we're talking about the future. We're not there yet. Okay, we're here and now, and that's DeAndre Ayton. 27 years ago, Dale Brown called me up and said, "Bill, I got a player I'd like you to take a look at." I went down there to Baton Rouge, and it was Shaquille O'Neal.
Three-pointer is good for DJ Hogue.
What an offensive performance. Now, these Aggies are fretting, and Sean Miller needs a timeout. I mean,
well, this start, Bill, very similar to what we saw in the Bahamas for Arizona, where the defense just does not look sound, which is very unusual for a Sean Miller coach team.
I wasn't in the Bahamas.
But you watched the games, didn't you?
No, I didn't.
You didn't study tape?
We were busy up at PK80 in Oregon.
They had this thing called Sports Center and
Home
highlights.
Of the breed. Pray, we were working, please.
No, Texas A&M under its best start with Billy Kennedy as head coach, and the last time they were 8-0 at A&M was 2005, 12 years ago. They haven't missed a shot yet in this game, 4-4.
This has not been traditionally a basketball power. Billy Gillespie put him back on the radar. Then Mark Turgeon got him going. They had a run there of 6 straight NCAA tournaments, but Billy Gillespie, what he's got going right now, and the recruiting prowess stepped out of bounds.
Terrific offensive start for Texas A&M. 4 of 4 from the field, 3 assists on 4 baskets, and a 9-4 lead for Texas A&M.
The future on display here tonight in the Valley of the Sun, the talking stick. I've often been referred to as a talking stick, but that was before I put on 50 pounds. DeAndre Ayton, the future of basketball here, just a spectacular talent and an incredible human being, and you just look at him and you say, oh my gosh, I believe in evolution.
Well, for the people that were not watching ESPN News when we were on earlier, Bill said that Ayton is going to be the best player at his position since Shaq.
That's not what I said.
It's exactly what you said.
That's not what I said. I said he is. He's not going to be. Said he is the best player I've seen.
Well, then you went on to say, though, that that's the future. You said we're living in the present.
No, that's what I've seen of DeAndre Ayton. He's the best player at this level since Shaquille O'Neal.
He's only played 8 games.
And I saw one of them. I saw one of them.
Nice drive by Brandon Randolph.
How many have you seen?
I've seen like 4 on TV. Remember the Bahamas, which you said you didn't watch any of the games.
When was that?
It's 2 weeks ago.
Really?
Remember, they lost 3 games, including to Purdue by 25. They went from number 2 to out of the rankings. First team in 30 years
Traveling
to do that.
Violation. Here's DeAndre Ayton.
A&M, though, has
I saw him take apart the Eastern New Mexico Greyhounds. It was like he stole their food, and they were just whimpering over on the sideline. And that's a fine program over there with Trace Siegler. But this young man here, he has everything you could hope for in life as a young man growing up over the top. Come on, Deuce, you got to finish that.
Ristich able to control it and put it in. I don't get a whimper our first game together, and I'm going to whimper for him. All right, that's enough. A&M by 1. Arizona 4-4 from the floor.
Deuce Ristich, who had 18 in this matchup a year ago at the Toyota Center down in Houston. Our congratulations to BD Global Sports and Brooks Downing here putting this series together. One of 129 games this year that BD, after Brooks Downing, BD Global will put together. Look at that spin move.
Great defensive play, though, by Robert Williams, the SEC Defensive Player of the Year a year ago.
When you find yourself getting stripped down low, that means you're not leading with your elbow.
Like you just did there.
Well, I was demonstrating.
That's my shoulder, not the chest. Barner Jackson Cartwright with the rebound, and Arizona looking to push. A chance to take the lead. Trier for 3. No good.
I was on the phone with USC this week. They had just been pounded by A&M. And they told me that Texas A&M, who I have not seen this year, said they're going to be in the Final Four.
Trier's 3 not there.
Oh,
and Ristich called for the foul. So that is the first on him and the second on Arizona.
Sean Miller's going to need Deuce Ristich. He was huge a year ago in Houston, 18 points.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by McDonald's. I'm loving it. And eBay. Fill your cart with color.
Welcome back to the Valley of the Sun Showcase on ESPN. Arizona hosting Texas A&M as we welcome you to the Pac-12 on ESPN.
Wow, the Grand Canyon. With the way things are going with Bears Ears and the Escalante, you can only hope they're not going to give that away too, or maybe even put a dam in it. You never know. Valley of the Sun, spectacular day today. Arizona, the 6th largest state, the 16th most populous state. Phoenix, the 5th largest city in our union.
And by the way, Grand Canyon has a
A game after
basketball game tonight against St. John's. Chris Mullen will actually
take on Dan Marley.
Dan Marley. Chris is going to join us at some point. It'll be good to have Mully on. Can't wait to hear about your guys' biking trip that you took recently with him.
We're always on a bike trip.
Just remove bike from that sentence, and
please.
You are correct.
Great defense for the first time tonight by the Wildcats. New uniforms. I haven't seen these before.
Yeah, with the gold numbers and names. Ayton able to get the rebound. A chance for Arizona to take the lead. 0 for the last 6 now for Texas A&M. And on the floor for Arizona's Alex Barcelo, a freshman from Chandler. He's yet to score away from Tucson. He's had some big games, and they've all been at home.
I love Barcelo's game. Beautiful shooter. Come and release. No need for DeAndre to handle the ball that far from the basket.
Dylan Smith fouled, and that is second on Texas A&M.
You just fall down on your own, dribbling wildly with your weak hand. How can they call a foul and bail you out?
Well, if they get tripped, usually they do. They get DJ Hogue.
Look, you don't have to move your foot out of somebody else's way.
Well, Arizona at 5-3. Remember, they lost Kadeem Allen from a year ago. A turnover again, and the slam by Dwayne Wilson, a grad transfer from Marquette.
Lazy passing
too
by Sean
Wilson,
Miller.
hobbling up the floor.
They've got 4 guards. They'll be fine. It's a very deep team.
Well, that's the difference with A&M this year is their guards. They had the bigs last year.
Over the top.
Ayton, beautiful. Hang and finish.
Yeah, you're the guy who said he was no good. Please.
I didn't say that. I just didn't say he was the best player since Shaq.
Please, identify yourself.
How is it you call me Cole and you Solar, yet Cole. You always talk about players from 30 years ago.
Shaq's 27 years ago, please.
Missed shot there.
Great rebound, the position, the anticipation.
Here's Trier, averaging 25 points per game. Knocked out of bounds
A
by
lot of NBA staff here today, headed by Danny Ainge, the legend. Lazy pass across the middle. Dwayne Wilson, who's a right-handed player, but the balance and the position and the timing and the touch by this guy. Well, he wears number 13. I tried to get to the bottom of why he wears number 13. He said there's no reason. He just tried it on and it felt really good. Okay. So he's wearing number 13. I thought maybe in honor of Wilt, maybe in honor of Steve Nash. Maybe he. Oh man, when you have to call a timeout.
Well, it's good defense by A&M.
Oh please.
By the way,
have you? How many times have you had to call timeout to get the ball in bounds? That's failing to prepare is preparing to fail.
DeAndre Ayton's 19 years old. He's from the Bahamas. Came to the U.S., moved to San Diego, and then here to Phoenix, where he went to Hillcrest Prep and played for a year with Marvin Bagley, who's at Duke. And
you played with Bagley in high school?
For 1 year, because they both moved around.
I've seen Bagley.
Yeah,
he's good. He's very good.
Ayton.
He's not as big as DeAndre, though.
He's thick. Ayton is really thick up top.
Yeah.
And cut. And
when I first saw him, I thought it was David Robinson. He was riding a hoverboard around the campus at U of A. I don't know when it was. My life has been kind of a blur.
Considering you didn't remember, as we were talking before the game, that we worked NBA together and who Mike Tirico was. Nice inbound pass in the swat by Trosha Morelos.
A&M is better than I thought.
Got a foul here on the pass.
And they keep getting better.
Barcelo commits his first, third on U of A.
Ira Lee, who is left-handed in life but right-handed in basketball. There's a guy who, great athletic background, grew up here in the Glendale area before moving to Los Angeles for high school.
Lee's dad, Zeph, played in the NFL for a while, went to USC.
Defensive back, played for the Raiders. Tough as can be. Haven't seen much from Robert Williams yet.
He's not on. Nice play defensively that time on the block by Lee. They like his athletic ability, and he showed it there.
This is a game for men here tonight. Tremendous patience defensively by Ira Lee. Just wait. You make the guy double clutch, and that's all you need to do. He'll eventually have to bring the ball back into you. You just touch it away. Bill Russell.
To your point on Williams, though, he's only taken one shot. They've done a good job denying him.
So
he's got nothing on offensive rebounds.
You got to go get it.
Quick turn and shoot, and it almost goes down, and then Williams called for the foul. That is the first on Williams. Remember, they had only 7 to shoot on the inbound pass, and then you had the deflection. So it's Arizona ball.
Shades of Sean Kemp when you look at young Robert Williams, who comes from Oil City. That's probably where you're buying your retirement home, right? Cole.
Population 1,000.
Just down the road from Vivian.
Dad's name is also Robert.
That's why they call him Junior, right?
It's usually how it works.
You never know.
Or the second.
I'm the third.
William Theodore the third?
Yes.
Here's Smith for 3. It's good!
Beautiful.
Dylan Smith, who's only shooting 23% from 3, gives Arizona the lead.
Very nice young player. Transfer from UNC Asheville. You ever been there?
Yes.
Great bike riding community there up against the Great Smoky Mountains and the Blue Ridge Mountains. Fantastic.
Entry
Great
pass
defense.
Intercepted by Jackson Cartwright, pushing the tempo.
Barcelo, throw it down, Deuce.
Ristich puts it in, Arizona by 4.
What a turn of events here. Like they finally figured out that not much water here for the Aggies to quench their thirst on.
Gilder driving, and another block by Lee.
Push the ball, PJC.
Lee was calling for the alley-oop that time. It might have been there. Smith in the paint, puts it in. 6 straight by the Wildcats. Timeout, A&M.
Billy Kennedy has seen enough in the big red machine, rising as one, the economic engine of the Conference of Champions. Here in force tonight, the talking stick, penetration, dish, 3-point jumpers in transition, the wingman. Barcelo down the lane, and Deuce able to put it home.
Saturday we'll have an afternoon doubleheader of college basketball with #1 Duke taking on Boston College at noon, followed by Indiana and Louisville at 2.
The Arizona Sonora Desert, the hottest desert in North America. What a spectacular place. You climb up all these mountains, whether it's Camelback, you go up to Oak Creek in Sedona, you go to Camp Verde, you go to the Mogollon Rim over there. It's just absolutely a beautiful place. Come here now. Today it was cold and gray, but still a perfect day for solar energy. And then you come in at night and you just enjoy the talking stick. What more could we ask for?
DeAndre Ayton back on the floor. 9-0 run by Arizona as A&M's gone 1 for its last 11.
Next you're going to say that Arizona's better without DeAndre Ayton.
I'm not responding. Entry pass.
Beautiful.
Tyler Davis, nice move.
Strength, power, control. Grew up in San Jose, Tyler Davis did. San Jose, California.
Thank you.
And then his family moved to the Dallas area, Frisco first and then Plano. And he was just kind of overwhelmed when he first got there by the football culture. Football, please.
What do you think of their new head football coach?
What, Texas A&M?
Yeah.
$75 million.
Jimbo Fisher, if you didn't know.
No, I did know that.
All right.
A big football guy. Kyle Field, one of the 3 biggest stadiums in college football.
Very good.
Yeah.
Very good. I got a foul here on A&M. That's 2 on DJ Hogue, who is their leading scorer. See if they keep him out here.
Hard to make the excuse that you can't find the money to feed the players when you're paying the football coach $75 million.
Emmanuel Acott is on the floor right now for Arizona, a freshman.
Although none of these players look hungry to me in terms of starvation. Beautiful pass, Deuce Ristich.
Extra pass by Acott, and Jackson Cartwright has been shooting it lights out from 3, unable to knock that one down.
It's the first year that little PJC has been healthy.
Starks, great shake, but he couldn't finish.
E-Man Acott, Winnipeg, Canada. You been that far north?
I have.
What are you doing there? Great defense, Robert Williams. So DeAndre's got to learn to use that off arm. I mean, that's the key. When anybody's really good, their off arm is incredible. Whether it's Kareem, whether it's Michael, whether it's LeBron, Magic, That left arm, if you're a right-handed player like DeAndre, just a weapon. Just right there. Just.
Is that instincts, or is that
no, that's
you got to get coached? You got to get taught how to do it.
And just playing on the playground a lot against older guys.
Ristich got stripped, stolen away by Dwayne Wilson. Wilson pushing tempo, lost the ball. They'll stay with A&M. Bill, who are some of the guys in the NBA right now that are really good with that offhand?
LeBron. Anybody who's any good offensively has a great off arm.
Okay. By the way, it looks like
I don't get to watch.
Robert Williams shaking up there, holding his left hand as A&M gets an easy 2.
When you ask me these questions about the NBA, please, I don't get to watch the NBA every single day.
You're watching the Lakers every game, aren't you?
I try to.
You know the coach.
I try to.
I don't know if he knows you, but
no. But I like the Lakers a lot better when they win, and that doesn't happen very often.
Trier
got to have a big offensive game.
He's 0 for 2 so far. Ristich, not a shot.
A&M's better than I thought.
Well, they are number 7 in the country. They beat some good teams.
This guy, Tyler Davis, is very good. It's a poised team, reflective of their coach. I love that. Let it go.
Savion Flagg playing with a mask. He got hurt early in the season against West Virginia. Off target there. Trier with a rebound, still looking for his first points. He's averaging 24 per game.
Savion's got a broken orbit to his eye up there. It's very tough.
Smart play by Ayton. Waited for the double team, made the pass, and Ayton short.
The outside shooting for the Wildcats has just not been good.
Into the backcourt, and a violation by A&M.
On this inbound pass where the Wildcats just break down. They're not even watching the ball. Like they're not ready. And Sean Miller says, what are you guys doing? Please. What did we spend all week preparing for? Anticipation. Keep your eye on the ball. Thank you, Sean Miller, for what you do for all these young men.
So is that because some people have said, okay, there are a lot of distractions, obviously, in Arizona with the Book Richardson suspension and arrest, the involvement with the FBI investigation, charged with accepting bribe money to steer players to financial advisors. Some are saying, well, Arizona's struggling because they're distracted, but the reality is defensively they have not been good, and that is a hallmark of a Sean Miller team is good defense.
When you're up against, when you find yourself in times of trouble, find something that's going to give you the solace, the sanctuary, the safe place, and that's the basketball court. You come to work every single day. These things are out of their control, out of our control. Beautiful ball movement.
Dwayne Wilson for 3.
But when I saw whatever happened down in the Bahamas, when I saw the final scores, that's all I got to see. I said something's wrong because I did this team's first game or so of the season. I said, this team's going to the Final Four. This team is going to destroy everybody. And when a team with this much talent has a run like that in the Bahamas, man, something is wrong. I haven't found out what it is yet. I haven't seen what it is. It's a long season. We're just getting started here. We are at Talking Stick in the Valley of the Sun. There is no reason to go anywhere else.
So there have been some changes on the Arizona staff, not just with the Emmanuel Book Richardson suspension, but also Lorenzo Romar is now a member of the staff after 15 years at Washington as the head coach.
That's a great addition. Great.
And Mark Phelps is still on the staff, and Austin Carroll is now the coach who will be allowed to coach on the floor, replacing Book Richardson. But I was talking to Lorenzo before the game, and he said, look, I have no regrets about Washington. I had a great run there, very blessed to have that much time. For people to be that patient over 15 years, we just don't see that anymore as Ayton gets stripped. Gilder on the drop. Ayton comes back and swats it out of bounds.
Faith and patience, the two words that John Wooden added to his pyramid of success. How many years was Coach Wooden at UCLA before they won their first championship? As DeAndre Ayton comes and just slaps it around. I'd like to see him just reach out and take it like a grapefruit. Pull it right back out, take a big bite out of it, turn around and throw it up the court for a fast break going your own way. DeAndre Ayton, the future on display. It's like he was oh my, that's 2 out of bounds plays, please.
They missed the layup as Chandler couldn't finish, but they get a stick back, and it's a 9-0 run by A&M. Arizona had a 9-0 run earlier.
Game of runs here. In this game a year ago at the Toyota Center in Houston, A&M closed out with an 18-0 run. Barcelo, yes.
How about that? His first points away from Tucson. Think how many games they've played outside of McHale Center. It's the first time he scored.
Well, how many plays do you think the coach calls for him?
Well, you should see his numbers up.
Well, what has he got?
Well, he's like 0 for 10 in the 4 games.
10 shots, that means nothing. If it was 1,000 shots, then that would mean something, please.
So
what was
10.
your name again?
0 for 10 doesn't mean anything, is it?
Cole, Dave.
Randolph, Roxy. Randolph missing, rebounded by Gilder.
Randolph is your name, please. A&M plays a phenomenal schedule. They've already beat SMU, West Virginia, USC. They're going to play Kansas. They're going to play Kentucky twice. They're going to play Florida. Shocking loss for the Gators last night. They were the best show in town up at the PK80.
Yeah, they got blown out at home by Florida State. Great job by J.J. Chandler reacting at the last second, and they get a blocked shot for A&M. Well, Billy Kennedy, he was at Murray State, did an excellent job there, took over A&M. They went to the tournament and the Sweet 16 2 years ago. Last year, disappointing, barely over 500.
No guard play last year.
Yeah, no guard play. That's the biggest difference. He told us at shoot-around, or he told me. You wouldn't talk to me and him at the same time. Knocked out of bounds by Wilson. By the way, I noticed today at shoot-around, not only would you not talk to me, that now you're fist bumping everybody. You're not shaking people's hands. What's going on?
I had to stop shaking in May.
Why?
I was in a bicycle crash, broke my hand, and my hands don't work anymore, so I have to just do a fist bump. So please.
All right. I'll give you a pass. It's a broken hand. How many did you have surgery? What did they surgery number 40?
No, I had to ride my bike home.
Three-pointer is good from Dylan Smith. Arizona back in front by 3.
It was a self-inflicted crash, going at 1/5 of a mile per hour.
What? You didn't tell anybody about it? You didn't call your friends or text or email and let us know?
I had to get home.
I didn't mean that right then. I meant like later that night or something, or the next day.
It was a tough go at the beginning, but it's okay now. I just can't shake hands. Great defense, Barcelo.
Wilson too strong on the 3. Williams knocks it out of bounds.
We need to see more from Robert Williams here. He's too good a player.
Yeah,
this is when you find out how good you are, how you do against somebody who's bigger, better, and stronger.
No Steph Curry, Bill. He is going to be reevaluated in a couple of weeks, which I know for him, he was really looking forward to going home to playing in Charlotte. Wolves-Clippers game 2 of our NBA Wednesday doubleheader.
You always want to play, regardless of where it is. It's sad for Steph, but that guy's tough as can be. He's had a great run of late, and he'll be back.
Ayton throws it down that time.
One time. Arizona has to get more deliberate, determined, and disciplined in their offense. The crowd trying to urge them on here. Looking for a blowout.
Wild play by J.J. Caldwell. Arizona ball.
DeAndre Ayton shutting down the 3-on-1 in the basket area, all within 15 feet. Beautiful movement. His hands, his explosiveness, and the U of A chant rains down from the rafters at Talking Stick. This guy's much more of a stick. This guy is a block of granite. He's like Vulcan's anvil there just below Lava Falls in the Colorado River.
I was going to say the same thing. 6.7 rebounds for Ayton. While you mentioned Williams needs to play better, it's not just that Robert Williams hasn't scored. He doesn't have a rebound in this game, Bill, as Ayton goes to the bench.
Competitive greatness. Be at your best when your best is needed. Fine young man. You know, just... I love what Steph Curry said about Lonzo Ball the other day. Don't measure a guy by his first 20 games in the NBA. That was a very kind and generous statement by Steph Curry, a classy act.
Alonzo Trier just picked up his second foul. What do you think about LeVar Ball pulling LiAngelo Ball from UCLA?
My hands are clean. My hands are washed.
So you're okay with that, is what you're saying.
That is another world that I choose not to live in.
Well, Steve Alford was asked about it. Why, did he reach out to me? He said, "Why should I? I'm right here. If they want to call me, they can call me." Not his job to call LeVar Ball to constantly get a sense of whether his son, who is the 11th man, wants to
beautiful pass
be on the roster. Knocked out of bounds. It'll stay with A&M. 11 to shoot. 5-point Arizona lead.
If you want to keep talking on that subject, I'll just let you go ahead.
No, let's move on. 8-0 run by the Wildcats over the last 2.5 minutes.
Billy Kennedy, who's basically a man-to-man coach on defense, he's been experimenting with some of the zone, and when they played zone tonight, Arizona has been the superior team. But when A&M comes back to their man-to-man defense, and this guy Tyler has the ball, throw it down, Tyler.
Great drive by Tyler Davis. Played much better tonight than Williams for A&M.
He's the emotional leader. He and then the little guard, Gilder, Oddmon Gilder.
Davis had 21 against Arizona in a loss when they met last year in Houston. 4 minutes to go in the half. Arizona by 3. And a turnover.
Whoa, another turnover.
Dylan Smith, it was like a no-look pass to the wing.
Yeah, to the other team.
And a blocking foul called then on Smith after the play.
The step to greatness, the stairway to heaven. Know how to play offense. The Wildcats have their work cut out for them.
Go ahead, Bill. You wanted to talk. You raised your hand.
Yeah, I want to talk about how great this is at Tucson. Arizona Wildcats come up here to play in this city, the largest city in the state capital, the largest city-state capital in our union.
Ristich called for a foul, and that's 2 on him. Go, you keep tapping.
U of A has 45,000 graduates that live here. Most of them run in big, huge, successful companies here. Out of 273,000 total alumni in the school's history. They also have a medical school. It's the only school in the country that has 2 different medical schools in 2 different cities. It's absolutely incredible what Bobby Robbins, the new president, is doing there. Record applicants 7,000 applicants for that medical school this year.
You've given Robbins more mentions than Michael Crow already in one season, which is shocking given your love for
That's not true. I love
Dr.
Michael Crow. We're going to have ASU a lot. They're playing great.
Davis called for traveling. You want to weigh in on the Herm Edwards hiring? Or would you prefer to leave that one alone, too?
I don't know enough what to say. How much money did they give him? $75 million too?
I don't know if it was 75, but it was a lot.
It was a lot?
Been out of coaching for 10 years, hadn't coached in college in 30 years.
Well, what's wrong with that? A coach is a coach, please.
You believe that?
What about Chip Kelly?
Nice job by Robert Williams to get the steal.
Remember when Danny Ainge was the broadcaster? Beautiful play. I'll tell you, these guards, they're better than I thought. That's J.J. Caldwell. Tough childhood growing up, lost both of his parents at an extremely young age. Adopted a number of different families. Beautiful ball movement.
Well, they're getting from Dylan Smith what they weren't getting in some other games. He's making, for the most part, better decisions. He's got 11 points on 3 of 3 shooting from behind the arc.
I was hoping that Brandon Randolph was going to play a lot tonight. He's a super fun player to watch. Just a freshman out of Yonkers. That would be in New York. Beautiful.
You. Davis, another drive to the rim, and not much resistance defensively, and that's going to get Keanu Pinder off the bench for Arizona.
If you're playing against a guy like Tyler Davis, just keep in front of him and see what kind of 15-footer he's got. I mean, why would you guard a guy at 15 feet if he hasn't made one yet? Beautiful ball movement.
And Smith gets right down the lane, but it's sent back by Williams. Barcelo
send it back.
Got a look at it, and it will go now to A&M. Had a couple chances there and could not convert. So Williams hasn't scored. He doesn't have a rebound, but he's got a couple blocks in this game.
He gets beat badly, but his incredible athleticism, the length, the power, the strength, keeping it in play, but Barcelo just right in the perfect position. That's anticipation by Barcelo.
He's got
defense, little PJC.
Williams, by the way, Bill, has the longest active streak for blocks. 37 straight games with a block.
Really?
It's active, though. Not all time.
When did they start keeping those blocks?
25, 30 years ago? Mid-80s?
78, 79.
In college.
In college.
Talking about.
Pros in the 74. Pros, they started keeping it the year Wilt retired.
That's how you won your MVP, right? With the blocks. Gilder can't get it. Bodies hit the floor. And a foul called on Texas A&M.
What a great atmosphere here in the Talking Stick. Back and forth basketball. Arizona able to hold on top for a little while. This has been great. The big stars are not in foul trouble.
We have a promo Saturday afternoon doubleheader. Duke, BC, followed by Indiana, Louisville. Go ahead, continue.
I thought you were going to have another promo that SportsCenter was going to be on.
It is later. Savion Flagg with a foul is first.
How many people do you know in the world that do not know that SportsCenter is coming on? Okay. What was your name again?
Roxy.
Cole.
Jackson Cartwright driving, step back, got caught in the air.
Come on, Keanu. Beautiful
great
pass.
And Ayton fouled by Davis, who went for the block. That's the first on Davis, and that's the 17th foul. So we're going to see DeAndre Ayton at the foul line. He's a 71% free throw shooter. One
of a handful of guys coming from the Bahamas. Michael Thompson and Rick Fox, the NBA champions. Buddy Hield, College Player of the Year. Tum Tum from Michigan State, one of my favorites.
You saw him in Portland, right?
Yeah, he looked excellent. Michigan State is a lot like this Texas A&M team. Better than I thought.
Who's better, Michigan State or A&M? I mean, Duke looks like the best team right now, but
I didn't see Duke other than as a fan.
First free throws of the game by either team. You were ripping the rest before the game even started, and the first foul was called at 1:07.
I'm glad they were paying attention. I'm glad somebody was.
Ayton gets the second one, Arizona by 3.
DeAndre came to basketball late. He was a beach boy growing up in Nassau in the Bahamas. His dad's only 5'7". There was this incredible scene when they were down in the Bahamas for the tournament, right? You were there. Did you go to the elementary school that he spoke at?
I wasn't in the tournament. As a foul is called here on Pinder, it'll be a 1-and-1. That's a 17th foul. I said I watched it. I wasn't there.
You told me you were there. Okay, so anyway, they have this community event, right, where they take the player through an elementary school where he's from, just 10 minutes from where he grew up.
Right.
And he gives a little talk, has some, has a Q&A there with the little students. like your little children, right? And how they doing, by the way?
Great, thank you.
Okay. You know what the first question was for DeAndre? Are you one and done? This is from an elementary school child. Oh my gosh. But DeAndre is incredibly proud of his heritage there in the Bahamas. Grew up in the marching band, playing the snare drum. An avid soccer player as a child as well.
By the way, my kids asked me that question my first year working with you. Are you one and done? I didn't know how to answer.
How are the children doing? I got this great picture of them here.
This is year 6, by the way.
I redid it.
You redid the Cole picture?
Yes.
Can we talk about it later? There's 38 seconds left in the half.
Okay. What's the score?
Arizona 29, A&M 28.
Thanks.
About a 20-second difference in the game and shot clocks.
Don't over dribble it, PJC, please. Attack.
Jackson Cartwright has it rejected again by Williams.
That's not quite what I had in mind.
A&M can hold for the final shot of the half. They won't. Three-point try is good by Dwayne Wilson.
Wow, what a turn of events. The simple twist of fate. Bob Dylan, tomorrow's the day. You ain't going nowhere.
Ayton has to fire it up with one on the game clock, and it almost went down.
What a game. Best game of the year in college basketball.
31-29, A&M with a 2-point lead thanks to the three-pointer by Dwayne Wilson. John Brickley, John Thompson, Dalen Cuff, the college basketball halftime report.
The future is here now.
ESPN as we continue Jim Valvano's fight against cancer.
The number 7 team in the country, Texas A&M, at 7-0, leading a team that was ranked number 2 preseason, but now unranked because of 3 losses. Arizona 29. Welcome to the Valley of the Sun showcase on ESPN. Dave Pash with Hall of Famer Bill Walton. We started, Bill, talking at the top of the telecast about the bigs. DeAndre Ayton for Arizona and Robert Williams for Texas A&M. Now, Williams, he's not a big-time scorer, but he didn't do much offensively, and he only had 1 rebound. He had 2 blocks, though.
You have to just not look over at the sideline. You got to play the game and not overthink it. And you just got to get out there and chase down that ball, and wherever the ball is, you have to be there. And then it's been fantastic in that neither player are in foul trouble. So that's spectacular.
I saw you telling
congratulating
the
refs. I love the refs. I love the refs. I made a contribution.
They were looking at you like, why are you telling me congratulations?
But both of these teams, A&M has been the better team. They have shown more skill, and they have shown more of an identity and more of a style. But with DeAndre Ayton, the stakes are higher, and they will always be as long as he's in the game. I mean, he's a player like Shaq, like Kareem, like Akeem, like Wilt.
And let's not leave out Tyler Davis when we talk about bigs, because Davis had 10 first-half points on 4 of 5 shooting for Texas A&M.
Tyler Davis was the best big man in this game.
Well, Ayton had 7 points and 7 rebounds. You said that he was the next Shaq earlier, and now he's not the best big on the floor?
In this game today, please. You having trouble with your ears? Or is it the connection between your ears and your brain that's having trouble?
Here's Parker Jackson Cartwright, the starting point guard, a senior from Los Angeles.
What was your name again? I'm looking forward to seeing PJ play this year. Grew up in the Studio City area there. Steve Nash was his favorite player growing up. I got to find out who his current favorite player is.
Nice play by Davis to break up that alley-oop pass.
That's Tyler Davis, the one who's played really well.
Yeah, he's been great.
From Plano, high school teammate of this guy, Hogue.
Yeah, Hogue didn't play much. He was in foul trouble, but gets to the rim that time. Just his second basket.
They win the state championship in Texas when their teammates there, and why not? Hogue made the game-winning shot.
Good to see him healthy. He missed the final 9 games last year with a foot injury, then had shoulder surgery in the offseason. They got Ayton on the low block, a matchup to watch, and Ayton just steps around Robert Williams and lays it home.
Kevin McHale type footwork, Hakeem Olajuwon, and why not in the presence of Danny Ainge, 15 years the president of basketball operations for the Boston Celtics. Celtics just tearing it up right now. Kyrie Irving, wow, what a player. Jaylen Brown, you remember him? You old enough to remember him?
You and I called those games 2 years ago.
That was fantastic. What a thrill, privilege, and honor that was with Jalen Brown.
Foul on Wilson is second.
Beautiful passing in the low post. When he has that ball, get those elbows a little higher, and that's that spin. And as soon as you see a defender put his hands straight up like that, there's Danny Ainge.
By the way, they won't have a chance to draft Ayton unless they trade way up.
Wait a second. They got the Lakers pick again this year coming up. If it's 2-5.
Yeah, the Lakers aren't. I think they're not going to be number one, though. Ayton's probably the number one pick. By the way, I told you Markelle Fultz is a number one pick at this point last year. You said I was crazy, and it happened. Here's Randolph down the lane. Gets the floater to tie the game. I didn't say he should have been the number one pick. Danny Ainge didn't think so. He traded out of it to draft Jason Tatum.
We just hope that Markelle has a tremendous career. Is he playing yet? He's hurt still.
No, he's still hurt with his shoulder.
So is T.J. McConnell hurt. We're just very sad about that. But T.J.'s married now, and so he's got a wife there to take care of him and console him during his time of misery. Beautiful runner. Oh, my gosh.
Trier with a rebound.
That's got to be a throwdown on the offensive glass by Robert Williams.
I saw TJ recently, said to say hello. He was disappointed you weren't during the game. Here's Trier, and he buries it. Alonzo Trier finally on the board, did not score in the first half. It's amazing that Arizona's in this game without much from Trier offensively.
Trier had 29 in the big overtime victory at UNLV that really got the Wildcats back on track. And this loyal fan base, they are so desperate for good basketball. They were expecting a championship season, and they haven't had it to date.
7 straight points by the Wildcats. Tyler Davis wants it in his hands. He'll put it on the floor.
Nice
what a spin on Ristich. Great footwork on the low block.
Not only has he been the best player in this game, Tyler Davis, he's got the best game. He's got the best moves. He's got the best hands. He's got the best mind. Nice pass.
Ristich over Davis from DeAndre Ayton. That's the intelligence there of Ayton.
Ayton's got it all. And when you have the physical package to start with, the challenge for the coach, and that's why you make beautiful pass.
Williams,
beautiful pass.
Able to finish, and Williams with his first field goal of the game. And it comes at the 15:54 mark.
How about the recruiting job that Billy Kennedy has done in putting this team together? It's not like it's not like young children are growing up saying, hey, I'm going to Texas A&M.
Well, they do in football now.
This is not football.
Thank you. Trier misses, and a foul is called. And Robert Williams, again, grew up in Oil City, population of 1,000.
Your retirement home, coal, Oil City, fossil fuels. I'm into the future, like Alonzo Trier, DeAndre Ayton, College Station, Tucson, Phoenix, Arizona, sunshine, solar.
You've never been to College Station. Welcome to the Pac-12 on ESPN. Look, Dr. No's not even here, and you're still getting good scenics from our producer.
Look at this incredible view of the Grand Canyon State. Absolutely spectacular in every way. You ever been to the Vishnu Schist at the bottom of the Grand Canyon there?
It's on the list.
Right now, Arizona appears to be in the Vishnu Schist with their inability to play consistent offense.
Trier with a free throw. You saw Robert Williams on the bench.
The problem for A&M is that they're playing better and they're behind. And their lead player, Tyler Davis, is playing fantastic, and they don't have control on the scoreboard. And Trier's not playing well. Here's a guy who didn't even test the NBA waters a year ago. He just said, I'm coming back to college. Missed half the season last year, and now he's coming back working on this complete game. Everybody's known he's been a shooter his whole life. New York Times Magazine cover boy at 11 years old, a child prodigy like Mozart. Although Mozart was younger.
I'll remember that if I'm ever on Jeopardy. Gilder drives and a foul is called. And so Gilder will go to the line. That is the first foul in Arizona here in the half.
Let's take a moment and remember one of our game's most fantastic players and personalities. He died 2 months ago tomorrow at 75 years old. He grew up very poor in Brooklyn, and he was taken advantage of as a young man in the business of basketball, and his career was derailed and ruined. David Wolf wrote a fantastic book in 1972 called Foul. And what happened to Connie Hawkins was a foul against human decency and humanity. He was able to make it back. He played here after a big lawsuit that got him into the NBA. Played for the Phoenix Suns. Jerry Colangelo made all that happen. Four-time All-Star. He's in the Hall of Fame, class of '92. Fellow class members Jack Ramsey, Bob Lanier. Check out that book, Foul, David Wolf. He was Elgin before Elgin. That's Baylor. Dr. J before Dr. J, and he was Michael Jordan before Michael Jordan. He was as spectacular as dynamic. He was phenomenal. We love you, Connie. We miss you. 75 years young, had very tough health crises down the stretch there for Connie. Cancer, all kinds of stuff. But what a player, what a human being, what a force of nature. Thank you for your life, Connie, which has given us ours.
A&M ball down 2. Davis driving and dishing, and they're going to get the offensive foul here. Man, the play of Dylan Smith tonight, it's not just on offense. Smith's been very good offensively. He's got 11 points, but he's made the right decisions for the most part. Stepped in front there and drew the charge. He led UNC Asheville to the NCAA tournament before transferring to Tucson.
Whoa. That may be a good play, I guess, for a little guy, but don't try that at home.
Well, he's told by his coach to step out of the restricted area and draw a charge, no matter how big the guy is.
Okay, so try that on Shaq the next time.
So you're saying he should not have drawn the charge there?
Not in his own self-interest, for self-preservation.
That's for his team. Trier misses a 3, rebounded by Hogue.
What?
So it wasn't a team play?
I mean, that's all fine and good, you know.
I know you're about offense, but come on.
It's all fine and good if you're going to play one game in your life. But how old is Dylan Smith, a 6'5" sophomore from Mobile, Alabama? Have you been there?
Yes.
Very nice there. Kenny Stabler. Did you ever spend time there with him?
Not with Kenny.
Oh, my God.
Here's Davis from three-point range. Tyler Davis with his second made three-pointer of the season, and A&M's in front.
How about Sean Miller today at practice? It was the coolest thing. He gives a 5-minute lecture on which line to shoot behind. Playing in the NBA.
Nice drive and score by Trier.
Best play of the night for Trier. But Sean was going off. Said, I've seen this for 14 years. All you college guys come in here and you don't know which line is which. The blue line is our line, please. It was fabulous.
It was his way of saying, don't think with all these NBA scouts you're playing in an NBA arena, you're going to get any more points for shooting it from NBA range.
They are all here tonight, believe me.
We saw Lawrence Frank from the Clippers here, president of the Clippers, and Danny Ainge, obviously you've talked about 6 or 7 times. Davis with a rebound.
Danny Ainge belongs in the Hall of Fame. I just don't understand why he's not there. Danny, with 6 children, 15 grandchildren right now.
Ayton goes strong at Davis, and a foul is called, and Ayton and Davis with some words afterwards. That's 3 on Davis now, and Ayton to the line.
So in trying to find out what DeAndre Ayton is studying in college, not surprised to find out that he's studying finance and economics.
By the way, you're talking about Ainge. I just want to finish up on Ainge for a second, because we're talking.
Brilliant.
Right now, the team with the best record in the NBA is Danny Ainge's Celtics without Gordon Hayward, who was their big signing in the offseason. So is Kyrie that good? Is Brad Stevens that good?
Both.
Are the young players improving Brown and Tatum quicker than they should have in most cases?
Danny Ainge has become the best general manager in the NBA. And the number of players that they have, the draft choices that they make, the conversation that we had earlier about this past year's draft.
So he's better than Bob Myers, who's won 2 NBA titles in the last 3 years?
You got me on that one.
Okay.
You got me on that
All
one.
right, it's about time. An admission.
Well, I love Bob Myers.
No, look, nothing against Danny. Danny Ainge's done a phenomenal job. Phenomenal with Boston. And they've got a great team. And they have a great shot to make it out of the East this year.
Well, look, you got to beat LeBron. You know, don't tell me anything about regular season. You got to beat LeBron. LeBron's one of those players. He's on track to join the list of the greatest players ever.
Wilson driving, and a strip by Jackson Cartwright with 4 on the timer, and out of there with it comes Trier. Arizona by 3. Trier to the basket, and a foul is called on the floor on A&M. That's the 15th foul. Just 1 foul on U of A, and that's on Hogue, his 3rd. So Hogue and Davis both with 3 fouls.
And that could very well be the difference in this game as we go down the stretch in the final 12:05. Because they have not been playing a rugged, physical, violent game of infractions. Trier
can't knock down the 3. Rebounded by Gilder.
This guard play for Billy Kennedy has been superb.
They're good rebounders. Gilder gets about 6 boards per game. He's 6'3".
Their guards have been better than the Wildcat guards.
Well, that's the biggest difference with A&M from a year ago. Stark short, rebounded by Ristich. Here's Smith, who had the hot hand in the first half.
You know, when you're in the SEC, everything is about can we beat Kentucky. And, you know, Kentucky, they are always good. But Arizona dropping out of the top 25 for the first time in 100 weeks.
You were with the Celtics the last time a team dropped from number 2 out of the poll. It was Louisville in '86.
Really? That was Denny Crum. They won the championship that year in '86.
I think it was the year after. I think it was the fall of '86. So
okay.
it's actually '86, '87. Yeah, the year after.
Louisville won the championship in '86.
Beat Duke.
As did the Celtics win the championship at the professional level. With Danny Ainge.
Yeah. Beat your guy Jay Billis. Remember Jay?
Jake? Who was Jake with?
It's Jay. He was with Duke, remember?
Maui Jay?
Ristich is fouled. Now Ristich aggressive offensively. Arizona playing better defensively tonight.
Jake played college basketball?
Don't give up. Don't ever give up.
Join ESPN and the V Foundation in the fight against cancer. Visit v.org/donate. All donations benefit the V Foundation for Cancer Research.
Research, education, knowledge, which leads to facts, which leads to better decision making. We talked about Connie Hawkins and the battle he went through with his own cancer. My great friend Dave. Not you, you're Cole, but my great friend Dave, he's having a tough go himself. He's on the upside right now, so we just hope and pray every day. Good luck, Dave. We're with you. Connie Hawkins, number 42 in your program, number 1 in your heart.
Ristich gives Arizona a 4-point lead.
How about the history of Aggie basketball? Sonny Parker. You old enough to remember him?
Yes.
Okay, so this guy was basically a redheaded guy who was just fantastic, Sonny Parker.
Foul called there on Ira Lee, his first.
And we had no idea who he was, but he joins the NBA, right? And he's a very good player for the Golden State Warriors. Very good.
This is when you were with the Blazers?
Clippers.
Oh, the Clippers, okay.
And it was one of the great locker room scenes ever. Our legendary coach, Gene Shue, talking about how we're going to guard Sonny Parker, And he turns to World Be Free, whose job it was to guard Sonny Parker. And Coach Shue said, World, how are you going to guard Sonny Parker? The guy's he's really good. He's big. He's going to take you in the post. The World looked at him and said, I'm going to get 50 on him at the other end and it'll be no problem. And he did. Wow. And it was no problem. World Be Free. Spectacular.
Flag with the basket. How come you never changed your name? I mean, you get Meta World Peace, World Be Free. Did you think about it at all at one point?
One of the important steps in growing up is learning to like yourself.
Jackson Cartwright misses a 3.
And to be happy with who you are. It's very difficult for young people.
I've liked myself a lot less over the last 6 years.
A lot of room for growth.
Williams, nice move there. You see the skill level of Robert Williams, his 2nd basket on the night. He went scoreless in the first half. We're tied at 45.
You know, it's one thing to like yourself. I want to know why you hate my grandchildren.
Your what are you talking about? I have no idea which. Your grandkids?
Yes. Why do you hate my grandchildren?
I have no idea what you're talking. Aiden for 3, short.
Straight as can be.
Yeah, just short. Straight's okay if it goes in, but it was short.
Tie ball game. Come on.
What if your grandchildren? Where did that come from?
Well, you and your coal and fossil fuel and taking away our children's day and everything. We've had this discussion before.
I have no idea what you're talking about. Morelos off the mark and rebounded by Brandon
Beautiful
Randolph.
Play. This guy's got it.
Randolph goes the length of the floor. That might be a flagrant foul.
I don't understand why the fans would cheer that.
They're not cheering it. The only reason they're cheering is because J.J. Caldwell might get a flagrant foul.
How do you know that what they're cheering about? They're cheering.
Well, they're Arizona fans. They're not cheering that Brandon Randolph got hurt. They're cheering that that's going to be a flagrant foul, which is free throws in the ball. That's an easy call for the officials.
The next time that happens to you in the TSA security line, I'm going to stand up and cheer, and then you tell me what's going on in my mind.
So you saw clearly it's a flagrant foul. The question is it a flagrant 1 or a flagrant 2? If it's got to be a 1. I don't think it was that severe where it's an ejection, because he did get part of the ball, but he did go to the head or neck area with contact. Played the ball a little bit.
Let's make a pot. Look,
it's a flagrant 1. Yeah, go ahead. What are you going to say?
Let's say something nice about somebody like Darby Rich, the strength and conditioning coach for this Texas A&M Aggie squad. Now, don't do that at home.
Yeah,
don't come down and tackle somebody at the
bad time to have a flagrant foul with 8:51 on the clock, and you just get a little bit more momentum offensively, and then J.J. Caldwell makes that mistake.
But Darby Rich is the strength and conditioning coach for Texas A&M. He does a phenomenal job. Used to work with Blake Griffin up at University of Oklahoma. But the way we rave about Chris Rounds all the time for the Wildcats, because we do a ton of their games, Darby Rich is right there with them.
You mean you? You said we. I love Chris, but I usually let you talk about him.
Right, that's because you haven't met him yet.
No, I just
how many years?
Calling the game.
I don't know. Okay, well, he's part of the game. It's the
Here's a steal. Caldwell comes back, makes a great defensive play, but a poor pass to Hogue.
Oh my gosh.
They had an easy layup, and now on the other end, 4-on-2.
Hogue has got to be ready for that, please.
Out of bounds, it'll stay with Arizona. He's got to be ready for it, or a bad pass here.
He just lost his balance and tried to. It's a terrible pass. You got to just bounce it right to the guy, lay it out there. Darby Rich played college basketball at Alabama. He was the same class and on the team with Robert Horry and Latrell Sprewell, coached by Wim Sanderson.
Trier tried to throw it up there for Ristich. Williams wasn't having any of that.
Pull it out here. Pull it out.
Jackson Cartwright gets on the floor.
One of the 4 worst possessions in Aggie history.
And a jump ball, as the officials do a great job in separating those players.
This has been an excellently called game. Most impressive.
Well, you got Carl Hess, a veteran official, Brian Shea, Peter Uzanis, all SEC officials on the call. You were complimenting them at halftime. They appreciated that.
Maybe I should start mentioning them in the open more often.
We get back at 12 officials soon. We'll see if you're saying the same thing about those guys that you do about the SEC officials.
I love the refs.
They would say otherwise. At least that's what they tell me about how they feel about you.
Tell you.
Flag, nice cut.
That's 3 times tonight. Sean Miller's beside himself. Oh my gosh. This stunning. He's going to call a timeout. He cannot take this any longer.
Well, Bill, 32 paint points Arizona's given up, and that's been the problem all year. Poor defense in the lane.
Wow. And when you have DeAndre Ayton, the paint should be yours. The stakes have never been higher. DeAndre Ayton, greatest talent in the history of U of A basketball. Valley of the Sun talking stick.
UConn struggling. We'll have UConn in Tucson in a couple weeks.
That'll be a ball game. They've got some players. Terry Larrier, Tariq Gilbert.
8 minutes to go here, and we're tied at 47.
UConn has won more championships in the last 18 years than any college in NCAA basketball.
They're struggling
More
this
than
year,
Duke, more than Kentucky, more than Arizona, more than Kansas, more than North Carolina. That's UConn. We'll have them.
Jackson Cartwright, 3, too strong, and rebounded by Williams, who's been more of a factor here in the second half.
That cannot be what Sean Miller drew up. Offense, the challenge for the Wildcats, the collapse last year in the tournament against Xavier. Beautiful.
Hogue with a pull-up.
Wow.
That was surprising. You know, everybody wants to know, okay, when's Arizona going to make that Final Four? Well, they've been to 2 Elite Eights and a Sweet 16 in the last 3 years. They had one bad game. It came at the wrong time. They really played well most of the year. There was maybe 1 or 2 games during the regular season where they weren't great, but their worst game of the year by far was the Xavier game where they lost in the NCAA tournament.
They had them. They were up 12.
You're saying they played well? They just got Hogue for his 4th foul.
Yikes. Did I just say the referees were on top of it? I'm going to go out and impale myself on that saguaro.
A&M trying to go to 8-0 for the first time in 12 years. What do you got? What are you doing?
So I can't figure out why you hate my grandchildren.
Why am I the devil? I thought Digger Phelps was the devil to you.
Okay. This is Dave sitting on a pile of coal. I love coal. You can't be serious. Live green or die. Now at the bottom, like this game, that's about the future.
Are those really my children?
Those are your children. Now
bring me up to my kids.
Bring me up to speed real quick. You got 2 daughters and a son. Zeke, Zuzu, and
Lexi.
Yeah, that's now she's in college now.
She's in college. How did you get a picture of them? And why are you? Is that you?
I went to your house and I took a picture with them. And then this is me over here.
Scary.
And then this is the future with clean air, clean water, renewable energy.
So I'm Cole, yet all you do is talk about guys from the 70s and musicians from the 70s. By the way, I enjoyed the Mick Fleetwood autographed album from the Pac-12 tournament you gave me. As Ristich gets both free throws and ties the game at 49.
Were you at the concert, the Classic, in Dodger Stadium this summer with Mick Fleetwood, Fleetwood Mac, and the Eagles? That was a show. Wow.
Got a foul here on Arizona. It's on Dylan Smith, his 2nd. By the way, is it true that you told Luke when he said he couldn't go to the Grateful Dead concert because he got the Lakers job that you said he needed to reevaluate his priorities?
That sounds like me. I can't remember.
Sounds like you remember enough. So all of a sudden your memories, you remember things from 1968, but you can't remember what you said to your son a year ago.
Well, he's 37. I've said a lot to him.
Gilder on the drive.
Beautiful.
Tough shot. It goes with 1 on the timer and a 3-point opportunity.
Tell you, the poise that they're playing with the Aggies. I want to give a ton of credit to Billy Kennedy's wife, Mary. You know, Billy has some health challenges of his own, 53 years old. But the way that he conducts himself, he's a no-nonsense, no excuses guy, doesn't whine, doesn't complain. But as we all know, Billy, nobody makes it to the top alone. So thank you, Mary. Your wonderful children. Do you hate Billy and Mary's children too?
They're looking at the monitor to see if Gilder released the ball before the shot clock expired.
Well, the red light's not on, so.
Well, it's the shot clock, not the, or the game clock.
Doesn't that red light go on with the shot clock?
I don't believe so. I think it's just the game clock, end of game situations. Okay. The shot clock goes off.
So they need to put the shot clock in our monitor here. But how about the tough life of a coach, right? I mean, Billy Kennedy, who was born and raised in New Orleans, same time, same area as Avery Johnson.
It counts, by the way. It was good. Go ahead.
Sure. Then he goes to Southeast Louisiana, was part of the program, basically talked his way into an administrative role with the squad, graduates there in '86. And then he starts this coaching odyssey. He's a volunteer at New Orleans. Then he goes up to Wyoming for a year, still just on the staff, Northwest Louisiana, Tulane for a year, Texas A&M as an assistant for a year, Creighton for 2, Cal Berkeley with Jason Kidd for 4 years. Centenary's first head coaching job, Robert Parrish's old school. Southeast Louisiana, back to where he went to school for 6 years. And oh my gosh, then Miami 1 year, Murray State for 5.
While you're rattling those off, Trier misses a 3. Ayton gets the offensive rebound after the missed free throw on the other end about 30 seconds ago by Gilder.
This is not a radio broadcast. And then he's been 7 years at Texas A&M. Billy Kennedy, the life of a coach, given his life for all these young men.
Randolph, big 3, and Arizona back in front. Brandon Randolph, freshman from Yonkers, New York.
Back and forth. And Billy Kennedy, big gamble by taking Hogue out with his 4th foul. Let him play. Great pass. Great pass.
Misses.
Great pass to himself, Moses Malone. Reset, take a deep breath.
Caldwell slipped but kept the dribble alive, so no traveling violation.
The crowd is trying to get their Wildcats, their beloved Wildcats, into a rhythm.
Davis, great move on the baseline. Man, is he talented.
Superb. A lot of NBA scouts are going to walk away from this game tonight and say, you know what, that's just the kind of guy that can help us.
He's got 17 points, a game high.
He's going to end up on either San Antonio, Boston, Cleveland, or wherever LeBron is, or the Golden State Warriors. This is just skill. This is knowledge. This is discipline. This is determination, and that's a ton of practice. And that's Darby Rich, his strength and conditioning coach. And the way he uses his elbows with both hands on the ball, that's how you pivot. The arch on the jump hook shot, Kevin McHale, Bob Pettit, Billy the Hill McGill, Timmy Duncan.
Anybody from the last 5 years that does that. As Jackson Cartwright hits the front end of the 1-and-1.
I mostly just see guys shoot threes and dunk.
Second free throw is good. And Arizona with a 1-point lead again, our 11th lead change. Nearing 5 minutes to go here in regulation. This would be huge for Arizona after the disappointing start, including the 3 losses in a row, culminating in a 25-point loss to Purdue.
Whoever loses this game is going to just be in a nightmare situation.
Well, it'd be A&M's first loss. They'd be fine. Davis gets the roll. What a game Tyler Davis has played.
This team has got Final Four A&M written all over.
Right, so one loss isn't going to kill them. Arizona right now is just trying to find its identity.
How many championship teams you've been a part of? You're probably one of those guys that thinks that a loss is like good.
I didn't say it was good. You just said that they're in a world of trouble if they lose this game. It's a road game. Last touch by Williams.
So they played well enough to win.
Arizona has 8 seconds to shoot.
We've got a game here.
Saturday we'll have an afternoon doubleheader of hoops. Number 1 Duke and Boston College, followed by Indiana and Louisville. Have you watched Marvin Bagley play at all?
I told you that in the first half. Were you here? Are you old enough to remember that? He's a very nice player. What was the answer? It was very nice. Clearly you weren't paying attention. Get to the hoop, DeAndre.
Ayton with 4 on the shot clock.
Wow, that's a rebound. Hogue finally back into the game. Never take him out. There's only 7 minutes to go.
Bagley,
can't play with 4 fouls.
Had 24 points, 11 rebounds tonight.
He's really good and really smooth. That's the guy named Ryan from Duke that was Ainge's first pick. How's he doing?
Jason Tatum you're talking about? They get a foul called here. Arizona can't believe it. It's the 15th foul, and Ristic picks up his 3rd. Side out, 12 to shoot for A&M, leading by 1. A&M has not been 8-0 since 2005 when they started 10-0. Arizona were to lose, they'd be 5-4, and they have Alabama, another ranked team, coming to Tucson on Saturday.
Avery Johnson, doesn't matter if he has 3 players or not. That guy, that was one of the great stories ever.
That was neat. And they hung in there.
Oh, if Minnesota had lost that game, those players would have never lived that down. We lost to 3 players in a 5-on-5 game. Wow.
Shot clock down to 6. Morelos travel. Good defense by Arizona on that possession.
Wow, great finish on tap for us here at the Talking Stick Valley of the Sun Showcase. Wow.
Center. Really? Inside look at Villanova. Gonzaga. Villanova won big. And SVP's one big thing is about the AFC North crossing the line. I don't know if you watched that Monday Night Football game last night between Cincinnati and Pittsburgh. And what bowl matchup will be a bad beat? Do you know what that means?
Has something to do with being off the beat.
No.
Takes all you've got just to stay on the beat.
Scott's going to be really upset that you don't know one of his favorite segments. What's it all about?
It means that the drummer is lost. Oh my gosh, what a play.
There's a foul on the floor. It'll be a 1-and-1. Or actually, it's going to be 2. That's the 10th foul. So this is going to be 2 shots for 8, and they get Trocia Morelos. By the way, this game has been tight throughout. The largest lead for A&M in the second half was 4, but it was for only 20 seconds. Arizona's largest lead was also 4. That was for 25 seconds.
That's what I love. Wire-to-wire, great basketball. Seen enough of these blowouts of late. This guy, whoa. And how fantastic for DeAndre Ayton to get Chris Rounds, Justin as his trainer, strength and conditioning coach for U of A, Sean Miller as his coach, Deuce Ristich as his mentor, who was mentored by Tarzewski. The lineage goes on, but now who can finish?
Well, that's big right there. It shows a lot to make free throws down the stretch in a big game like this. 13 points, 9 rebounds. He's 5 of 6 at the line. Arizona back on top. Now a 3 from the corner swishes through for Trocia Morelos.
Trocia from Cartagena, Colombia. How many basketball players do you know from Colombia?
I think the G is silent, isn't it?
Cartagena?
I think so.
Okay. I'm working on my English. It's my 5th language.
He was 0 for 7 before that one went down, Trocia Morelos.
I know a lot of great bike riders from Colombia.
Ristich, great pass from Ayton, and Ristich with the basket to tie it at 58.
You seem surprised at a big man making free throws down the stretch. What was Shaq in his last college game? 13 for 13 from the line in Boise, 92. You missed it. Were you born yet?
That was like
2.
Yeah. Davis spinning, going to the left hand. The tap, no. Batted in the air. Ayton secures it for Arizona.
That's Akeem Olajuwon. Forced to miss, come back and snatch the rebound. Now come and give him the ball, please. What's he doing 30 feet from the basket?
He's setting a screen and then he's rolling to the basket. They got a mismatch right now. That's what he's doing.
If PJC needs a screen 30 feet from the basket, he shouldn't be out there.
You know everybody runs this, right? Every college and NBA team runs the ball screen high with the big.
What have they got out of that?
Well, Ayton rolled again. Trier didn't hit him. Now Jackson Cartwright beats the shot clock buzzer with a 3.
Because everybody does it, you're saying that's right.
Timeout, Texas A&M as Arizona leads by 3. Jackson Cartwright, the senior, knocks down a huge triple.
Just the way they drew it up. Brilliant use of the high screen. Goes to the knee. Marcus Haynes, who spent a lot of his life living here in the Valley of the Sun. Fake the defense out by thinking that you're going to turn the ball over. Free up a guy who shouldn't be left alone.
And you think about all the star power that Arizona has, the big names like Ayton and Trier, yet it's Jackson Cartwright, a guy that worked his way up the depth chart over the last 4 years, did not play much early in his career, has battled injury.
Well, he was behind TJ McConnell.
Yeah, but he's become one of the leaders of this program. He's a senior. He's made a lot of big shots. And that's the biggest of the season for Arizona because it gives them an opportunity to knock off number 7.
So PJC, whose first year had a concussion early on in the Conference of Champions season. Last year had a flu that ruined the start of his season. 2 years ago. Last year it was his ankle that bothered him most of the year. Hogue has got to make a play offensively here.
Entry pass to Davis, and they're going to say a foul on the floor first on Ayton.
How could that be waved off as a no basket?
Well, because there's no such thing as continuation in college, so it's the 16 foul, side out.
So not only do you hate my grandchildren, you don't believe in evolution. You don't
I think there should be continuation in college.
Okay, well, say that the first time then. Like, I can't believe that's not a basket.
Well, it's not a basket because it's not the rule. Shot clock at 15. Hogue defended by Trier. Hogue playing with 4 personal fouls.
Great defense, PJC.
Wilson can't get it. Rebounded by Ira Lee.
Where's the offense going to come from? Keep the attack going. Arizona, Sean Miller, they tend to pull it back when they're out in front and playing well.
And Sean Miller just saying, I want Trier one-on-one against Hogue. Shot clock at 9.
Hogue's got 4. Trier should just go right by him here.
Trier had a little trouble. Ayton with the catch, the fire, and way off.
His fundamentals are so good. The balance, the release, just the way he stands. You ever have to remember LeBron when he was in high school? I mean, LeBron had that in high school. This guy's got it right now.
Let's see where A&M goes here. Do they go for the 3 or do they go inside to Davis for a 2?
Just get the first good look. You get
Williams is open. Excellent double team.
Wow.
But a foul is called, and that will put A&M at the line. That is the 17th foul. Hogue is a 76% shooter. They get Trier for his 3rd personal. You think about the Pac-12.
I don't get this. Wait, I just don't get this.
You get what?
You're ahead. You've got a double team. The guy is visibly panicking. And then you foul. Why? You're ahead.
I don't think he was trying to foul. He was trying to play good defense.
If you're not trying to foul, then don't.
So Hogue at the line for a 1-and-1. You think
basically like finding things before people lose them.
Now the Pac-12 has had some. It's been a rough start to the season, as rough as we can remember for the conference. This would be big for the Pac-12 if they can get this win. But Hogue with a big hit there, knocking down the front end of the 1-and-1.
The conference has been standing on its head. I mean, Arizona State is the #1 team. We've got them at Kansas on Sunday.
And they look
Washington
really good.
State playing fantastic.
Hogue knocks both down.
Although you see Davis just beat them. You see Davis.
You're going to Lawrence,
Nose
Kansas
School.
without me?
I'm not in charge of you or your schedule. I just wish you would stop hating my grandchildren. That's only.
All right, Arizona ball.
That's my goal.
A&M has to foul if they don't get a steal.
Give it to DeAndre Ayton, please.
They double team Randolph, the freshman.
Oh.
I think Jackson Cartwright's like, yo, you got to get it back to me. I'm the senior. Let me shoot the free throws. Instead, Randolph will go to the line. Now, Randolph has shot the ball well at the line. He just hasn't shot it very often. He's only attempted 9 free throws on the season and has made 8. He's 2 of 2 tonight.
Brandon Randolph, who played high school basketball with Bo Mamba, that great star for Texas. Wow. And they were high school teammates in a game against DeAndre Ayton January 14th.
How about the free throw shooting down the stretch? A couple by Ayton, and now Randolph gets that one. If he can hit here, it will make it a 3-point game. A&M does have a couple of timeouts left.
This is the type of player that A&M does not have, Brandon Randolph. That long, lean runner, the Scottie Pippen type of player. You talked about Arizona's depth in their roster. You know, if you're Arizona, get up, play defense up the court.
I'm with you here. Don't wait. Don't wait till they cross half court.
Don't stand back and wait for them to come at you. Go and take them out of their game early on.
A&M doesn't have to look for a 3 here. So they go to Tyler Davis. Backing down Ayton. Flips it up and in. Beautiful shot. And now Texas A&M will call a timeout.
Wow. Arizona should get that ball and get it inbounds quickly, allowing the Aggies to call a timeout in this fantastic game.
Robert Williams is a very good player, but the big man for A&M that started tonight has been Tyler Davis. 9 of 12 from the floor, 21 points.
This has been his game from the very beginning. He set the tempo early, and that move has just been unstoppable. There's been nothing that Wildcats from Tucson could do against this exquisite young talent. Tyler Davis, just a junior, Plano, Texas, 6'10", muscular, wants to be a broadcaster. Studying communications and journalism there at
well, if he decides to be a play-by-play announcer, I can tell him which analysts he shouldn't work with.
You can warn him.
So it's Arizona ball. A&M scored quickly enough where they don't necessarily have to foul on the first pass. They did on the last possession.
But you can't waste time. Okay, you got to face guard everybody.
Well, they got Williams running the baseline defensively. Arizona's got to get in and call a timeout.
Twice tonight.
Well,
why do they have the shortest guy in the court taking the ball out of bounds?
Well, you have the tallest guy in the court for A&M defending the inbound pass.
Advantage Billy Kennedy there. I mean,
and now you're out of timeout, so you have to get it in.
How about Deuce Ristich take that ball out of bounds?
Well, maybe he's not a good passer. You got a guy out there that you trust in Jackson Cartwright.
He's smothered. He can't see anybody. You got to know who that guy is going to be. Maybe Brandon Randolph. Deuce Ristich, certainly. Ira Lee, son of a football player. Throw long. Dylan Smith.
Well, we'll see if Sean Miller changes it up here.
Always throw the ball up the court. You know, you're ahead. Throw it up the court. Long. And A&M is going to face guard everybody. Who's the guy most likely to miss a free throw for Arizona?
Well, they've all shot the ball well.
Okay, so nobody.
This season.
So you got to make
tonight
throw
they're
a
16 of 18.
pass.
You know, one thing we haven't mentioned, Bill, about Arizona and its rough start, they have not had Raleigh Alkins, a guy that, you know, in these situations they'd love to have on the floor.
You don't listen to me during the game, do you? We mentioned him earlier. So don't say we haven't mentioned him.
The audience changes, time spent listening. So we have a new audience, especially in this situation, end of game. Let's remind people Raleigh Alkins is not available. They hope he returns soon. He's had a foot injury, but that's a big reason why Arizona has a record of 5-3. All right, so they got Jackson Cartwright.
They haven't made a change at all here.
Again, though, he can run the baseline, so it's not the worst thing in the world.
And he still can't.
They don't have any timeouts. He gets it into Trier. And now they got to foul Randolph when they do. But notice how they didn't foul Trier. They waited till that next pass. Not that Randolph isn't a good free throw shooter. He is, but he's a freshman where Trier is in his third season.
The Aggies did a nice job there. They had 3 guys on the first trap, though.
So Arizona's only missed 2 free throws all game. This guy hasn't missed 1. He's 4 of 4 at the line. He's only missed 1 foul shot all season until now.
So that's the window that the Aggies need. They come back with Tyler Davis. Hogue still has 4 fouls. Williams hasn't done much. The guards, 4. First of all, you got to get a rebound here if you're A&M.
Randolph knocks down the second one. A&M has a timeout. Will they use it here? They got 14 seconds. He may call the timeout when they get into the front court. Arizona leading by 2. A&M unbeaten. Already 2 top 10 teams have lost this week.
Hogue and Tyler right now. Get the ball up top to Hogue.
Wilson driving. Leaves it for Davis. Traveling is called. Davis took steps and turns it over.
At first glance in live action from across the court, it looked like traveling. Penetration, beautiful dish. I don't know.
Hard to tell when he caught the ball. Was he stepping as he caught the ball right here?
There.
Yeah, I think he did. I think he traveled. 8 in the inbound pass. They're trying to strip it. And
what do they call there?
Calling a foul. So that's going to put 8 at the line.
That's a very tough traveling call.
Actually, they're going to say the ball is just knocked out of bounds. So here we go again. Jackson Cartwright's got to inbound the ball. Now he can't run the baseline. He can't run the baseline, and they don't have a timeout. And they're saying a foul on Texas A&M before the inbound. They're saying that Brandon Randolph was grabbed
by Dwayne Wilson, number 13. Billy Kennedy can't believe it.
I'm just surprised that was called.
How about the traveling violation? The people in College Station, all of Texas.
So here goes Randolph again. Just went 1 of 2 on the last trip.
Incensed. Traveling.
So you didn't think it was traveling? It was close, man. I thought he took that third step. It was close because he was taking a step when he caught the ball.
You got the 2 best players in the game going head-to-head on the final play of the game.
Big miss by Randolph.
Call a traveling violation on a very, very tight call. Let him go. Let him get in the air and decide it, please.
So Randolph misses that one. That's 2 misses down the stretch. A&M still has a timeout. 5.8 seconds left. At least for Arizona, if Randolph makes this, you force A&M to have to make a 3 to tie the game and send it to overtime, and he does bury the free throw. 65-62 Wildcats.
Looks like you're substituting 6 for a half a dozen. I mean, why take Randolph out? He's been fantastic.
And look at Arizona here now going to finally pick up three-quarter court. Here's Dwayne Wilson with 5.
Defend the 3.
Wilson driving, hoists it up, he's fouled! Oh, it almost went in! But he's fouled and he'll shoot 3!
Oh my gosh.
That almost went down. He'll get 3 free throws as it is with 1.7 to go. And he's missed, coming into tonight, 1 free throw all season.
They're going to look at this and see if he was shooting.
Well, he definitely was shooting, and he definitely was behind the line. But he has not attempted a free throw yet tonight. But Dwayne Wilson is 18 of 19 for the season.
He's a 5th-year grad student. Raised in Milwaukee, went to Marquette, played for Coach Wojo up there.
They're looking to see, Bill.
I'm not sure.
Was he shooting a 3?
I'm not sure he was shooting. I mean, he clearly shot it after the foul was. DeAndre Ayton, 13 is going to grab him right there.
But he's in the act. I think he's in the act there. But you can't change it. I mean, you can't change that. And all you can do is go to the monitor and say, was he behind the line?
Really?
You saying that sarcastically?
No, I'm asking.
I mean, that was the NBA line. He's behind the NBA line. So that's what they're looking at. I think the officials maybe are confused, right? Because they're looking to see whether he's behind the line. He clearly was behind the college line. This is a thing that Sean Miller was laughing about in shoot-around, that sometimes you get fooled because you've got this what looks like it was duct tape on the floor for the college three-point line.
Please, this is the Talking Stick Arena. This is BD Sports here. This is Brooks Downing. 129 games they're putting on this year. It's clearly a three-point college shot.
I think they're also looking to see how much time's on the clock too, Bill.
But 2.2 it says right there.
Well, they got 1.7 right now, so maybe they put a couple tenths of a second back on it.
He's going to shoot 3 free throws.
Yep.
That has to be the call. I mean, I'm stunned at DeAndre Ayton's decision with that type of foul there. I mean, DeAndre Ayton is so good. Just play defense. The foul, if they were going to take a foul, it should have been at half court.
Sure.
You know, when there was 2.7 seconds.
Yeah, well, you're 7'1", you don't need to foul a shooting guard who you know has to take a 3. Just stand there and go straight up, right?
I concur.
So
pressure's on at the free throw line.
Yeah, they put 0.3 of a second back on, so it's 2.0. Definitely 3 shots. They were looking at the clock as well. That's really what they were looking at for most of that time. So they put it to 2, but again, Wilson has to make all 3 free throws, and A&M has 1 timeout left. If they get an offensive rebound, they can call timeout.
Your ability to know what other people are thinking is remarkable.
Still haven't figured out what you're thinking. It's been 6 years. Wilson missed the first one.
Okay, now you got to make this next one and then miss the third one, and then Tyler Davis or Hogue. Robert Williams, he's not even in the game, is he?
Got the second one. No, that's interesting that he wasn't on the floor there, but they're going to bring him in now for that third free throw, so I understand that. So you missed this one on purpose, Bill?
Absolutely. You have to.
Yeah, they're going to call their last time out and talk strategy here about, okay, this is where we're going to miss a free throw. This is where we need you to be.
So miss it high, so that high and deep, so it bounces up. And then just tell Williams and tell Tyler Davis, don't worry if they call a foul on you. Make the refs call a foul on you. Just get in there and get that miss and throw it down. But don't be soft and don't play it like you normally do. Force the referees to make a call.
Has to hit the rim
before they're able to come in.
Yep.
And then what about the guys who can run from the back? Gilder and Hogue. Look at that. Nobody's checking those 2 guys. That's a defensive mistake there by the Wildcats.
Wilson makes the shot. He was disappointed with himself. And again, A&M's out of timeouts. They need to steal. They're down 1. Jackson Cartwright can run the baseline. And we got another foul.
So this two shots and the ball?
No, not 2 shots at the ball. No, just 2 shots. But the difficulty here is,
why not?
Well, because it wasn't.
The ball was not in bounds.
It's not the NBA though, so
it's basketball.
It's 2 free throws because you're in the double bonus here for Dylan Smith. But with 2 seconds, even if he makes both, you basically have a chance to get 1 or 2 passes, and then you get a hoist about a 30-footer.
You don't have that much time.
1 pass then. Inbound pass and then 1 pass. That's 2 passes.
No, you got the inbound pass. That's what you have. Unless,
Arizona doesn't have a timeout to discuss defensively how to handle it, and A&M doesn't have an opportunity to discuss it offensively.
You're going to have a tall guy who can stand at that baseline when this free throw goes down. If I'm Arizona, I miss this free throw.
That's a great point. Although you take the risk then if he makes a shot to lose the game.
The clock's going to start.
He makes it.
Okay.
Jackson Cartwright is going to guard
Why
Gilder.
aren't they pressuring the ball, the Wildcats? There's that long pass.
Here's Williams with a catch. Lets it fly.
Oh!
Arizona knocks off number 7 Texas A&M.
Wow, what a game.
The Wildcats look like the Wildcats were supposed to look coming into the season.
The future is now. DeAndre Ayton. Wow. Alonzo Trier. Order is restored in the universe.
Final score, Arizona 67, A&M 64. You feel a lot better about Arizona after watching tonight.
They won. And that was the best part of the game. The best player was Tyler Davis. And the Wildcats, they've got to learn how to maximize the talent and the skill of DeAndre Orton, this unreal gem. But you have to polish him up and feed him.
For Bill Walton, I'm Dave Pasch. So long from Phoenix.